So this is what I've got this week. It's a beautiful blue polished colour blend and I'm putting it on by hand. So you can see this is what it looks like once it's fully finished. We've got some nice shine on there in a deep dark blue colour and a lot of gold leaf going on this wall. So this one took me about 4 days to complete. Even though it's only a small wall, we just have to do these bits in stages, so it's not 4 long days, it's 4 sort of half days as we go. So I'm putting the primer on here, and you can see rather than using a white primer, I've tinted it slightly to a grey colour, just to make sure that when I'm putting the base coats on, I can see where the grey is coming through, and that means that it's a low point in the wall, so I can flatten it out. This is just a good way of getting it nice and flat before we start. Now this is the first base coat going on in the white polished plaster. You can see what I've done is I've watered it down and I'm using a big spatula to put it on. I know this isn't the traditional way of doing it, because the traditional way is to use a normal plastering trowel, but this gets it on a lot smoother and flatter for us for the first coat. Just because that's all we basically want for the first coat, is it's super nice and flat. So even though we're not using a trowel, it really doesn't matter for this base coat. This is just a secret key to make it flat.
So this is what I'm on this week, this little wall behind me. It's not a massive wall, but we're going to make it a really nice feature. Yesterday I put the base coats on, it was a little bit boring, so I didn't bother filming it. And today I'm putting the second coat on and the third coat, which is the nice colour blending. So that's what we're going to get on with now. I've just got to sand this back a bit and flatten it out. So I've got all the kit here. We've got the Merca for sanding it back, the polished plaster I'm using Murano, and then I've got a few smaller tubs as well for mixing the colours in. So you can see now this is just the base. This just needs a light sand over before we can get going on.
So this is where the fun bit starts, is putting out the plaster by hand. So what I've done there is I've got 3 or 4 different shades of blue and white, which I've all mixed by eye to match the customer's kitchen, and I'm just slapping them on by hand. When we're putting these on, you sort of can't tell how the design's going to go, you've just got to trust the process. Now I've done enough of these to know what the process looks like, so I have a little bit of an idea of what it's going to look like depending how I put it on with my hand. So for some of these smaller, more detailed bits, I do use a smaller spatula. I really like these spatulas at the minute rather than the trowels, because you can get a really good grip on them and it makes it a lot smoother in my opinion. Obviously other people like the trowels, but for me the spatulas are all I've basically used for the past year. And if you do want the spatulas, I do have a link. So it's important with this not to rush it, so you can see I'm really not in a rush on this job. I've only got 1 wall to do for this week, which is usual for me. I just do 1 wall a week and take my time. Once we put the colours on, we let them dry in a little bit and then burnish it using a smaller burnishing trowel. This polishes up the product and adds a shine to it, so even though it's matte at the moment, I get my burnishing trowel out, which is this little trowel here, apply pressure in a crisscross design, that was a mouthful, and then it shines it up. Once that was done for the day, it was back to the hotel for the night. I was working down in Birmingham, so it's just easier to stay away, because then I can get on the video editing done at night time. So I've got my normal bag, my camera bag and my laptop bag. That was about it for the first and second day. Once it's all dry, because we want to give it a super high shine, and this is the acrylic based polished plaster, we can get a higher shine using some secret polishing pads. So that's what I go over with, is the polishing pads after it's all dry to give it a nice shine. Then it was on with the gold leaf. I didn't film the gold leaf just because it takes that much time and effort. I just wanted to focus on getting the job done right for the client. Once the gold leaf was on, I just added the clear wax to it then, and then we buff it up with a lamb's wool buffer pad. The lamb's wool buffer pad protects the wall a little bit and adds a little bit of shine as well. so that's about it really. The job's complete. As always, if you've got any questions, please do let me know, and if you want to get in touch for a quote, it's probably best to drop me a message on Insta or WhatsApp. All my platforms are linked, so all you need to do is go on your computer and type in Bello Venetian. I've also got online training courses as well for this finish that have just came out this month, so if you're interested in them, drop me a message. Let me know what you think. Thanks, bye.